Hello guys, welcome to another lecture by Supreme Tuber. In this lecture, I will be teaching you the difference between linear and non-linear system and how to classify a given system into linear or non-linear. Okay, so guys, stick with me. A linear system is a system which follows the principle of superposition. Okay, I will show you the definition of linear and non-linear systems. A linear system follows the principle of superposition. Law of superposition is combination of two laws, law of additivity and law of homogeneity. Okay, so law of additivity says, suppose I'll teach you differently. Okay, so suppose you have a system. Okay, so suppose this is your system. Okay, so suppose you apply an input x1 of t to the system, and suppose this is also the same system. Okay, they both are the same system. Okay, suppose you apply an input x of 2t to this system. Okay, so the output received, suppose in the first system is y1t, and the output received in the second system suppose is y2t. Okay, so if you add these two output, okay, suppose I'm adding these two outputs here, the output which you will get is y1t plus y2t. Okay, so this is one case. Now if you suppose, as I have already told you, a linear system follows the principle of superposition, and the principle of superposition is comprised of these two laws. So first I am teaching you law of additivity. Okay, so suppose you have two inputs x1t, x2t, and you separately put them into the system. You get two output y1t and y2t. You add those outputs. The result which you get y1t and y2t should be equal to the output which you get. Here you are adding the outputs. Let's suppose you add the inputs. Okay, let's suppose this is a summation. Okay, now I add the input. Okay, so if I add the inputs, I get x1t plus x2t. Okay, now you put the added inputs in the system. Okay, and the output which you will get, let's name it y of y dash t. Okay, let's name it y dash t. If y dash t is equal to y1t plus y2t, this system follows law of additivity. Okay, so what is law of additivity? If you apply two separate inputs to the system and get two separate outputs, the addition of those two outputs should be equal to the output which you will get when you add those two inputs by combining them into the system. Okay, so this is law of additivity. You can pause the video and just look at this block diagram. You don't need me to understand, it is very easy. Okay, you just look at this block diagram. These two outputs should be same. This is law of additivity. Okay, now I will teach you law of homogeneity. Suppose you have a system. You apply an input x of t to the system. Okay, you get the output y of t. Okay, and if you multiply that output with any constant k, the output which you get, which is kyt in this case, should be equal to the output which you will get when you apply this constant to the input before putting it into the system. Okay, so here I am applying the constant after receiving the output from the system. Here I am applying the constant k before putting it into the system. Okay, so here it will become k times xt. Okay, I am putting it into the system now, and the output which I get, y dash t, should be equal to this. Okay, what I am saying is these two should be equal. Okay, for the system to be homogeneous. Okay, so for a system to be homogeneous, the output which you will if you give an input and the output which you will get is multiplied by a constant k, that multiplied value should be equal to the output which you will get when you multiply the input before putting it into the system. Okay, I hope just pause the video and look at the block diagram for this second. If I give x2 through these two separate paths, the output should be equal. Okay, that is what is law of homogeneity. And if a system follows law of additivity and law of homogeneity, it is said to be a linear system. Okay, so now I'll take up some examples of to differentiate whether a given system is linear or non-linear, to make your concept crystal clear. So stick with me, guys. So let's suppose this is the question, xt is equal to y of 2t. You have to check whether the given system is linear or non-linear. Okay, so I'll just draw the block diagrams real quick. Suppose this is your system. Okay, you apply an input x1t to the system, you get the output x1 2t. Okay, suppose you apply an input x2t to the system, you get an output x2 of 2t. Okay, and if you add these two outputs, the output which you will get is x1 2t plus. Okay, so according to law of homogeneity, law of additivity, this output should be equal to the output which you will get when you put these inputs simultaneously in the system. Okay, so let's suppose this is my system. I am putting here now x1t plus x2t. Okay, so the output which I will get is, the t is replaced by 2t in the system. Okay, so each t will be replaced by 2t. So output which I will get it x1 2t plus x2 2t. Okay, so as you can see, these two outputs are equal. So the given system follows law of additivity. Now we have to check law of homogeneity. Okay, so let's suppose this is our xt. I put it in the system, I get x of 2t. Okay, now I multiply a constant k. The input which I will get is, the output which I will get it k is k x of 2t. Okay, so now I suppose I take the same input and multiply it with k before putting it in the system. The input which I will put in the system will be k of xt. Okay, so let's suppose this is my system. Okay, so if I put k of xt in the system, I get k x of 2t in the output. As you can see, these two are equal. Therefore, the system also follows law of homogeneity. Okay, so as this system follows law of additivity and law of homogeneity, the given system is linear. Okay, so let me just take one more example. Xt is equal to sin t plus sin t multiplied by xt. Okay, so what the system says, if I put any input xt in the system, the output which I will get will be multiplied, this is yt. Okay, will be multiplied by sin t. So suppose I put x1t in the system, the output which I will get is sin t into x1t. If I put x2t in the system, the output which I will get is sin t into x2t. Now if I add these two, I will get x1 plus x2 whole multiplied by sin t. Okay, so now suppose I put x1 plus x2 in the system, the output which I will get is sin t into x1 plus x2. As you can see, both the output are same. Therefore the system follows law of additivity, verified. Okay, now for law of homogeneity, suppose I put xt here, the output which I will get is sin t into xt. The output which I will get is sin t into xt. If I multiplied it with a k, I will get k into xt into sin t. Okay, so suppose I multiplied it with k before, the input which I will be putting is k into xt. If I put it in the system, again I will get k into sin t into xt. So these two will be equal. Therefore this will follow law of homogeneity as well. Okay, so as it follows law of additivity and law of homogeneity, the system is said to be linear. So guys, I can't really give more examples in this video, otherwise the video will become too long. But if you wish to do more example, I'll recommend you the book D.P. Kothari and I.J. Nagarath. Okay, it is a book published by McGraw-Hill, if I'm correct. Okay, I'll put the name of the book in the description. Okay, so check their book out. If you have any doubt, post them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help. And if you guys want a specific video on any topic, do ask me. I'll be happy to make. Thank you guys for watching this video.